The yard and the hills of graves have returned. Beautiful graves, graves, graves. We're in Billerica, Massachusetts, at the old burying ground, established 1663, and these so far are the oldest official marked graves in the graveyard. But there might be some controversy surrounding this. Beautiful little graves though. Beautiful slate. Mainly slate graves. We've got a couple of classic 1900s marble stone and soapstone and granite. But I'll get to the controversy in a little bit. Is this indeed a yard of graves? There is a problem with this graveyard. Just beautiful hill and little mounds of graves. Now, these stones here are giving me some problems. The oldest official burial is 1686, 1685-ish. And I'm looking at these stones here. These are not rocks, these are graves. These have to go back to at least the 1680s, early 80s, 1670s, possibly 1660s. DF, one of them means Danforth. It's got some classic chiseling graves. Hey, beautiful grave though, beautiful grave. These slate graves have a little wear on it, but they're still readable. The oldest official grave is 1682. It's a beautiful grave. Nice, beautiful little grave. Nice grave. Grave. That is the official oldest burial in the graveyard. Marked. And yeah, these stones are giving me some. These stones have to go back to at least 1670s. I've seen this type before in Springfield, in Bridgeport Cemetery, and they have dates of 1660s. So I assume it has to be the first interment of the graveyard. Look at that! Look at the beautiful graves. Beautiful graves. Nice little grave. This is one of my favorites. I love these types of stones. It's 1720 on it. Yep, 1720. It's a beautiful grave though. It's a rock type, chiseled. My favorite types of graves. One of them. Yeah, beautiful cemetery though. We got the mounds. The mound of the graves. A hill of graves. Little mounds. Where'd this one come from? Oh yeah, another one. And these have to look at those. Those definitely have to be 1660s, the latest 1660s, maybe early 1670s. But look at them now. They have to be a grave. I know they are. That's got to be probably one of the first burial. Nobody knows who they are. Just barely see something on it. I see a 1-6. If I can make that out. Can you make it out? So I can't. Got 1-6 in there. Possibly 7 too. Right. Beautiful, more graves. Classic graves. Beautiful graves and graves and graves. That's a nice one. Hey. Beautiful grave. I don't know. Ah, beautiful graveyard. The beautiful graves. Many, of course, the early settlers of Billerica, Massachusetts are buried here, as well as the first pastor of the church. And he was the first interment, supposedly, and those rock stone type graves over here might be the official burial of that area. See, one of these has to be it. I know it. I've seen stones like this. It's a beautiful grave though. Beautiful grave. Or it could be this stone. A beautiful stone. Or it could be this stone. It could be any one of these types of stones. These are definitely graves. Definitely. Beautiful graves. Graves. My bag next to the graves. Like some stills of the classic type graves. Beautiful. Whoa, Enoch. Ooh. Classic type graves. Hill of graves. And that's about it. And the sun finally decides to show its true self in the yard of graves.